Good evening and welcome to Sports Federation TV. My name is Elton Davids. I'm your host. As you know, the Sports Federation show is about what makes sport happen within the Western Cape, and more particularly what happens in Cape Town. As you can see on the screens behind us, we focus on a range of different codes, looking at weightlifting, T-ball, all kinds of different codes of sport. And tonight we focused on softball and transport games. As you will well be aware, over the last 8 weeks, we've looked at a range of different codes of sport. We focused on football, looking at the Co-Cup. We then went on to athletics, and we looked at all the athletics, a few of the athletics clubs. And now we're turning our attention to softball, and we're showcasing for the next 4 weeks softball played at Turfall, because softball season starts on the 17th of October. So we decided, let's give softball an opportunity to showcase some of their clubs, and then from there we'll choose a different code of sport. So to tell us more about softball, more particularly Cape Town softball, we have the president, Mr. Noor. Nacerodien, you well?
Very well. Good evening, Elton.
You good?
Very good, very good.
Good.
Great to be here.
Good. One of his deputy vice presidents, is that the right title, Ms. Vaneel?
Yes, Vice Chairperson.
Vice chairperson.
Yes.
Chairperson. Noor, Cape Town softball has a name change from Western Province softball to Cape Town softball. Tell us a bit about that.
Well, we had an election in August, and prior to the election we had plenty of workshops. It was only inevitable that we have to change. We had no challenges, like probably Western Province Rugby, who's on business lines. We had no reason not to get this done straight away, so we changed to Cape Town softball, accepted by everybody.
Accepted by everybody, meaning how many clubs are there in
Yeah.
Cape Town softball? Let's unpack that.
There are 36 clubs,
Okay.
which is about 47 teams in total. That's without our youth. And already we've got 2 new clubs, so yes, there's a growth. So majority, a vast majority has been supporting this whole new initiative. And we can only see ourselves grow as we go along.
Okay. Christine, tell us a bit about the committee. Is it a whole brand new committee? Is it people from the old committee? How's it worked?
I personally, if I think myself is very new on this committee, which is a position as one of the deputy chairs. And if I look, it's a totally different committee, a whole new committee, and I can really say that we are compatible and we are transparent, and the stuff that we over the information we make sure that we discuss, it goes through to the clubs. And I think that is one thing that we decided, that after our first meeting, that we want to be as transparent as possible in order to grow softball, because that is why we are here tonight, also to tell the people out there that softball is alive and that we want to fill up our stadium and bring more youth, and also the people that left softball, that they must come back and support us.
Absolutely, because and that's a big bugbear in a lot of folk, is that softball in the general sense has died down. There's not a lot of people playing softball, and a lot of people will say, as a result of unification, clubs have merged, and therefore softball has seen a dramatic decrease over time. And we'll unpack that in a bit more. Tell us a bit about some of the committee. What are the portfolios on this new committee?
Look, we've got, as we heard now, we had to tie in and align to Softball South Africa. So we've got the 2 vice chairpersons.
Why 2? What's the significance of 2?
Because we give them different portfolios. In the case of Christina, she's going to concentrate mainly on disabled, transformation and women.
Okay.
Although softball in Cape Town is majority women, it is still an important factor in our code. Then you have the normal secretary general. Then we have 4 directors: finance, youth, development and technical. So each one will build up a team around them to be able to take us forward. So in terms of names, I'm the old one. I've been there before. None of the others really have been there in terms of serving on the executive of formerly Western Province, now Cape Town, but all of them have been involved. I mean, the oldest one is Andrew Wenzel. Everybody knows him coming from those years, and he's finally, after like 40 years, making himself available to serve, because the passion seemed to be there. And Christina's right. When we decided to govern with transparency, it was the first hit with all the clubs. So I think going forward, there's no doubt we're on the right track.
Absolutely, and I think the key to anybody who sits in a position of power, needs to be there for the right reasons. You shouldn't be there to fulfill your own needs and to look for a title. Then you're in the position for the wrong purpose. It's about growing the sport and about growing the needs and the benefits of that particular code of sport.
Yeah, if you look at Kailicha, we've just got 2 clubs, which we've never ever had. Last year it started, immediately we've got 2 clubs. We should have 30. You know, at the size of Kailicha, we should have 30. They should have their own. We want to go back to the days of Cape District and where we play regional, because Turfel must be too small. Currently Turfel manages, but it's getting too small. We used City Park before, so we want to go back to that where we can play regional softball, you know, and then come back to the old Smirnov days where the top teams meet at Turfel in a big competition.
Because I think, and you're right, that's what's missing in softball right now. I mean, I grew up in the softball days of the Smirnov and City Park days, and in those days, everybody who played at City Park lived around City Park, and that's where the clubs thrive. Yes. Now you have people, like you rightly say, people in Kailicha, it's a cost factor for them to get to the field, let alone the cost to get the equipment. So that could be one of the stumbling blocks that leads people not to participate.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, before Christine gets in here, there's a new vision. Besides, the vision of Cape Town Softball is City of Champions. However, there's a bigger aim now, and that is 2020. We all now heard that softball and baseball will 90%. They will be at the Olympic Games in 2020. So we've got something else to go for. Hence, you'll find us now looking at, I'm not calling them older players, but rather looking at the younger ones in preparation for that bigger picture at the end of the day. And if there's that carrot that you can dangle to the players and say, we're going to work on you now already, so that come 2018 where the Olympic qualifiers take place, you're ready. You know, you're not going to say to me or to Christine, we're still going to select you now, because we know she's not going to make the grade in 2018. So we've got this big new vision to work on.
And that's what it's about. It's setting ideas now ready, finding the mentors to coach those players, taking them to the next level, and getting them ready so that come 2018, as you say, you've already identified them and they are already at that skill level to participate. Let's take a look and see what softball's really about. Let's check the footage. The International Softball Federation, that is their promo about what softball is all about. Let's take an ad break, and when we come back, we'll check more softball. See you now.
At Belleville Glass, we specialize in putting the needs of our customers first. With auto glass, flat glass, and aluminium installations, our quality control process ensures you always end with the best possible result. We offer a 12-month guarantee on all workmanship and a 5-year guarantee on all tint and smash and grab film. Our team of Belleville Glass technicians are here to look after your daily glass requirements. Call us on 021 946 1535.
This is Sports Federation TV. We're chatting softball. If you've just joined in, welcome. Christine, tell us a bit about some of the plans that you have as the Vice President looking after women in softball.
My portfolio is women in sport, disability, and also transformation. But we decided to focus women in sport, mostly women in sport and disability. If I can start with a person with disability, the first step that that I was thinking, and I informed my executive, is that we would like to get people to be scorers as such. And we already can say by today that we already have 10 people that we will give, they will have like workshops and stuff to make them familiar with the game as such, and also to integrate, because for us it's not exclusion, it's integration. And that is the first step that we thought of, to just to get them also involved in softball. And I think also it is the first for the Western Cape and for softball, from my knowledge. So that is one of the first plans. And from there we're going to work on to see how we can get persons with disability, because if you look about disability, they have different structures, like you're deaf, you're intellectually impaired, you're physically disabled. So if I'm coming from at a school with a person with intellectual impairment, although they're not academically strong, but they know they can play other games and stuff. And we was thinking to get them also involved and have like an awareness during this our first period, and then maybe from next year to integrate them, not be excluded, like an exclusion. They play, the person with disability play on their own, but to integrate them into clubs as such. That is from the disability side, and that is part of my portfolio. The other one, as women in sport, to get more women in managerial positions, because we know the clubs, we have clubs, and sometimes they lack to how to run a club, and that is to capacitate them to be apart from those who don't play anymore, but to get them also involved and get people in the community involved. That is your senior people, but also if you think about your youth, how can we ensure that there are more clubs? If I was thinking way back when I started to play, people came to our school, and that is why I'm still here. And I think that's also inspired me to give back. Not just sitting back, but to give back to my own community and also to the other communities that is part of Cape Town softball, so that we can go into all these areas. Like Noor said, that in Kailitsa, I mean, there's Guguletu, there's all the other, there's Bonteville, there's Elsie's River, there's a lot of other places, not just your the areas around City Park and also Turfall, but also to see how we can get other people more, especially our youngsters, because we know today, especially our young girls don't want to play any sport. And I think our focus is to go to the schools to see if we not just have one school actually to play softball in a community, but have more, so that schools can play against each other.
Absolutely, and I think that's where we will unpack the Mod Center program, because that's a potential link and
Yes,
the
where we
feeder
can.
into softball. Noor, tell us a bit about some of the rules of the game, because I think a lot of people don't quite understand the rules of the game, or the structure of how softball is played.
Yeah,
Let
look,
me put it that way.
Alton, if you played rounds in your young days in the street corners like we used to do, If you've played that game, that is your lead up to playing baseball or softball. Well, in our case, we're not going to talk about our baseball
Our
counterparts,
smaller ball people.
our smaller ball people. Right? But it is rounds with rules. Obviously, there are 9 players. Softball is a bit faster than baseball, and I explain that because the diamond, we call it a diamond, it's the area that you play in. It's smaller. The distance from pitcher to catcher is closer, so your reaction time must be much faster. Hence, it's a faster game than baseball. And you play 1.5 hours period. So it is good for spectators. You don't get bored throughout the day watching a 50-over cricket game or something like that. Not that I'm knocking, but I'm trying to tell you why softball is exciting. And the doors are wide open, right? I'm the only international umpire. It shouldn't be. For the last 8 years, it shouldn't be. So this is our steps now, is to try and get people to certain levels. Instead of when they finish playing, that's it, you don't see them anymore. There are other avenues internationally that are opening up for all our sports people, and we must make use of that. In terms of the schools are an important factor of any sports organization. Hopefully, with us and Cape Town schools, that will be soon, because they've planned an AGM coming September, and then we'll know who's the representative on our executive committee. So softball is, the future's bright. We have to just market the thing properly, and this is one of the opportunities. And yes, with us having 4 weeks here, hopefully a year after the 4 weeks, this is the opportunity to be able to promote sport. Softball, yes, is today, okay, from my other hat, there are 80% of the kids in Hanover Park that has not been outside of Hanover Park.
True.
How do you get them outside of Hanover Park? And this is one of the challenges we as sports administrators must tackle immediately.
Absolutely. How do people find out more about softball? Do you have a website, Facebook page, contact details?
We have Cape Town Softball Federation Facebook page. There's office. They can get to Turfall anytime. We've got an administrator permanently at the office there. Everybody knows where's Turfall. It's really the diamond on the Cape Flats.
I beg to differ. A lot of people don't know where Turfall is. Corner Turfall and Belgrave Road. Just so people understand in Athlone. A lot of people don't know.
That is sad, because if you look at the structure, it was built for the Olympic Games of 2004. You know the Athens story?
Yes.
And if people don't know where Turfall is, it's really the diamond on the Cape Flats. You know, it's just sad to know that there are some people that don't know that.
Absolutely. Christine, Noor, thank you for your time.
It's been a pleasure.
All the best for Cape Town Softball, and we'll come and watch you as you start the league on the 17th.
Just to end off, tomorrow, T-ball and Pee-wee, which is from 4 to 10, we have a festival. So you can bring, you don't need to belong to a club, bring your little ones.
Get them exposed.
Tomorrow from 9 o'clock, bring them, get used to the little Pee-wee.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you, guys. Let's take an ad break. We'll be right back.